Let's dive into this wild story. While others reincarnate as legendary dragon kings, you respawn as a literal carp in a wet market. One wrong move, and you are literally someone's dinner. But luckily, you just unlocked the last gas system. Survive each day, and you evolve limitlessly. The only catch? Right now, you are stuck fighting other fish in a tiny tank just for scraps. Way too tiny to compete. You have been surviving purely on whatever the others leave behind. At least your tiny size keeps the hungry customers away from picking you. But then, exactly 1 week later, a streamer named Jay points his phone at your tank with a huge smirk. Alright guys, we're doing something super fun today. My new arapaima is super picky, so I am here to find it some live snacks. The chat absolutely explodes with hype. And just like that, you are violently yanked right out of the water before you can even process it. A massive hand clamps your gills like a total vice. The room spins, and then you are tossed straight into a completely dry plastic bag. Zero water, not one drop. The suffocation hits you instantly as your gills thrash wildly inside the bag. Every single breath pulls in nothing but thin, stale air. Your vision completely blurs, while your tail slaps weakly against the plastic with a dry, rasping sound. Now, pay close attention. The stream goes absolutely wild. Look at that carp go. Jay, not even a single drop of water? You are so ruthless. I bet it won't last 3 minutes. Jay glances at his chat and smirks. Relax, guys. This is exactly the kind of epic content we are here for. Just tossing some live snacks to the arapaima. Nothing too fancy. But even as he says that, he loosely TIs the plastic bag, deliberately leaving just a tiny gap open. That tiny trickle of fresh air feels less like actual mercy and way more like a cruel joke. Good enough, as long as it is breathing when we get home. It is just fish food anyway. Inside that bag, your consciousness starts fading out, until the system detonates in your mind like a massive thunderclap. Ding. Player detected near the very end. Talent activated. Last gasp. Temporary muscle burst engaged. Boom. A massive force, unlike anything you have ever felt, completely detonates from deep within your withered little body. Every single muscle snaps taut at once, just like a steel whip at maximum tension. Crack. You completely split the plastic bag wide open. Your body launches out on a massive burst of pure force, slamming right onto the damp concrete floor below. The chat completely erupts. No way. This carp is completely insane. Jay, look right now. It actually broke out. Something is seriously wrong with this fish. That move was definitely not normal. Jay stares, totally frozen. He watches you flipping on the floor, eyes narrowing into tiny slits. Interesting. He crouches down and lunges for you. You thrash with everything you have, your sharp scales carving deep scratch marks across his rough palm. Jay hisses in sudden pain and completely loses his grip. You hit the floor with a loud slap, your gills straining with every single breath. Every inhale feels incredibly heavy with pure exhaustion. The chat goes absolutely wild. It actually fought back. I know what you are thinking, right? Keep it. The chat agrees. Jay, this fish is a mutant. Keep it. A carp with this much willpower is absolute peak content. Jay stares you down, his lips curled in pure contempt. Relax, guys. It is a carp. What will it actually do? But something about your absolute defiance just lit a fire inside him. He quickly digs out a heavy-duty plastic bag from his backpack. He does not even glance at you. He grabs you outright, scoops up a few other carp, and stuffs them all in. This time, he leaves 0 gaps. Let's go, he says, heading home while humming to himself. The heavy bag swings in his hand, completely bone dry, not a single drop of water. Through that hazy plastic, you can clearly see the other trapped carp already fading fast. Only you keep twitching, clinging on tightly with every bit of your newly boosted constitution. Jay points his camera at the bag. See that, guys? That is pure fate. 20 minutes from the market, not a single drop of water, but still surviving. Jay, that is so brutal. Come on, this is totally standard stuff. I bet it fades before we arrive. Jay scoffs and casually hurls the bag forward. Gone is gone, guys. It is just fish food. The world spins. Oxygen deprivation completely swallows your mind once again. But then, the system cuts through the haze, incredibly sharp. Ding. Player approaching critical condition. Last gasp activation. 78, 85, 92%. No, I am absolutely not going out like this. You violently force your gills to pump. Your tail twitches faintly, building energy toward one final, massive burst. Jay's apartment is way up on the 5th floor, and of course, the elevator is broken. He curses, walking up the stairs until his phone suddenly rings on the 3rd floor. It is about tonight's stream. What? The platform wants what? Are you totally serious? He angrily flings his arm out in total frustration, and the bag carrying you swings incredibly wide, then smack. It slams right into the sharp corner of the stair railing, bursting completely open. Oh no! Jay grabs instinctively, feeling nothing but a slippery flash of scales. A split second later, right in front of over 2,000 live viewers, you trace a perfect arc through the air, crashing incredibly hard onto the harsh concrete landing. That dull thud loudly echoes through the stairwell. The livestream chat goes totally silent, and then absolutely detonates. Oh no, that height, plus solid concrete. There is zero coming back from that. Jay, you seriously messed up. Jay saunters down, aiming his camera. Relax, guys. He stops. Trust me, we are not ready for this. Stick with me here. On screen, you, who should be totally done for, suddenly twitch. Your gills strain open, tail quivering, and then, impossibly, you start propping yourself right up on your pectoral fins, inching millimeter by millimeter toward a tiny moisture streak on that wall. The chat is absolutely stunned. Am I really seeing this? No way. Still kicking? I am definitely screen recording this. This is going viral. Jay is completely floored. He immediately crouches down and films up close. Guys, you're witnessing a total miracle right now. Just then, with zero warning, your tail whips, crack, and a splash of red liquid lands perfectly across Jay's camera lens. The stream totally erupts. Haha, that fish just smacked Jay in the face. This carp has a whole backstory. Followed. I am staying for this fish. Jay quickly snatches you up, a flicker of irritation in his voice. Lucky little thing. Does not matter. Ultimately, you are still just fish food. He drops you into a small portable tank, barely enough water to cover the bottom. Some chatters beg him to take care of you. Jay quickly waves it off. A common carp? Come on. Do you know what I have got in that tank? Every single one of my fish is worth way more than this thing. He gives the tank a little shake, stares at you, barely clinging on, and smirks. Making it this far, I will definitely give you that. Then, the camera swings toward the living room, and a massive floor-to-ceiling tank fills the entire screen. Inside, a huge arapaima, nearly 1 meter long, glides slowly through the water. Its dense, overlapping scales look just like the armor of an ancient general. See that? That is the real star. Jay proudly slaps the glass. Now watch closely. Tonight, I will show you a true apex Amazon predator. Chat chimes in. Let's go already. I bet that carp cannot survive 3 seconds. Stop stalling, Jay. Let's do this. Jay ignores them all, busy adjusting his lights and camera angles for the evening stream. You sit completely forgotten on the coffee table, resting still in the shallow water, gills barely moving, gathering whatever little strength you have left, bracing for what comes next. At exactly 8 p.m. that evening, Jay updates his stream title, Wild Jay, Tropical Fish Night. He steps in front of the camera, wearing sunglasses, beaming with pure excitement in front of the massive tank. Inside, the water is held at a steady 30 degrees Celsius, and over 30 species of tropical predators patrol the water. Jay taps the glass and looks directly into the camera lens. All right, everyone. Tonight's epic show starts right now. He grabs the bag holding your companions. Let's start with a little warm-up. He dumps the exhausted carp straight into the tank. Remember, these carp were pulled directly from near freezing market water. My tank sits at a steady 30 degrees. That extreme temperature shock hits them just like a solid wall. He barely finishes speaking when the carp hit the water, thrashing wildly like they were dropped straight into boiling oil. The biggest one's gills flare wide, its tail spasms a few times, then it stops completely. The second, the third, one by one, every single carp goes rigid and slowly floats to the surface. The huge arapaima drifts over unhurried and opens its cavernous mouth. Water and fish vanish in one gulp. You saw that coming, right? The chat loses it. Incredible. 0. Fight back. Time for the main event, Jay. He holds up a hand. Patience. This next one survived a 4-story drop. Splash. You are poured directly into the scalding water. Searing pain absolutely erupts across every single scale. What is this? The heat is totally unbearable. Your gills pump frantically. Every breath feels like swallowing burning sand. Your tail seizes up on pure instinct, muscles nearly tearing from that extreme temperature shift. Ding. Player has entered extremely high temperature water. Current temp, 30 degrees. Exceeds host's normal physiological tolerance. Warning. Biological functions destabilizing. Energy draining rapidly. System, help me out. You scream inside your own mind. Huge dark shapes glide towards you through the water. The arapaima, an alligator gar, a bichir. Their scales catch the light just like cold metal. They close in. This is really it. Right when hope fades, the bichir, silver white and sleek as a sharp blade, locks onto you first. Its tail drives like a spinning propeller. It launches straight at your flank like a living torpedo. The ultimate peril suddenly jolts you awake. Move. You slam your tail as hard as possible, forcing your body into a brutal hairpin turn. The bichir's teeth graze across your scales and instantly shear off 3 of them. The pain nearly blacks you out, but you just cannot stop. You dive wildly toward the large driftwood at the bottom. What is this place? The murky water completely warps your vision. Massive creatures circle around in every direction. You wedge yourself deep into a crack in the driftwood, gills heaving, wide-eyed with terror at this underwater nightmare. Then the system speaks, the first time in what truly feels like forever. Ding. Passive talent last gasp triggered. Player survival instinct has reached its ultimate peak. Water temperature detected right at the absolute upper limit of player's enhanced constitution. Player, remain calm. The burning remains, but your body starts adapting frantically. Trust me, you and I are definitely going to want to see what happens next. Alright, stick with me here. Your gills are actually pulling oxygen from near boiling water. You will survive. But before you catch your breath, that aggressive bichir whips right around, closing in fast on your tiny hiding spot again. It basically memorized your scent, aggressively jabbing its pointed snout into every single crack in the driftwood. Its teeth snap open and shut. Click, click, just back off. You press completely flat against the driftwood bottom, absolutely terrified, not daring to move a single tiny fin. Then, boom, something heavy smashes the tank glass. It is Jay knocking. By now, the livestream chat is absolutely exploding. No way, it actually dodged that first wave. Jay, are you sure this is a normal carp? That reaction speed is totally insane. Fish of the year right here. Jay just waves them off. It is just lucky. Have you never seen fish jump? He slaps the glass hard. Welcome to my aquatic prison, guys. Watch closely. With these predators, it will not last 10 minutes. The bright LED lights of the tank blaze down on you. In the phone screen glare, Jay looks seriously mad, face dark as iron. Over 1,000 viewers are absolutely hammering the chat now. Game over, man. That bichir cannot even handle one single carp. Jay is losing badly, and I am loving it. You said it would be instantly finished. This carp is amazing. Jay tenses up. He aggressively grabs 3 fat grass carp, holding them right up for the camera. Let me show you what actual fish food looks like. Now watch closely. When they hit the water, the tank ignites. The bichir lunges first, and the silver arowana clamps onto the fattest one. Red color fills the water. The remaining 2 get completely shredded by a red-tailed catfish and an alligator gar lurking right in the shadows. The chat goes wild. Now we are talking. This is why I am here. Jay wipes his hands with a super satisfied smirk. He taps the glass hard with one finger, sending huge ripples rolling through the water. See that right there? The first carp was just lucky. He leans into the lens, smirking. If that little carp survives until tomorrow morning, I will wash my hair upside down on stream. Meanwhile, you are pressed deep into the dark driftwood shadow. Every single scale on your body trembles. The 30-degree water wraps around you like liquid fire. Every breath seriously burns. Through the clouded water, you clearly see the scary remains of those grass carp drifting by. Half a tail twitches. Ding. Player in high-temperature water for 47 minutes. Surface damage detected right now. 3 tail scales have been lost. System warning. Arapaima entering hunting range. Your eyes instantly snap right. That silver giant, almost a meter long, cruises slowly in your direction. Its thick armored scales aggressively scrape against the decorative rocks, making a completely terrifying, teeth-grinding sound. To the left, 5 hungry piranhas weave straight through the thick water plants. Their crimson eyes glint. System, give me something useful. Daily survival reward unlocked. Pain resistance +1 is now fully active. Note, when finding cover, be careful. You exhale inside your mind, completely locking onto that ceramic filter housing 2 meters away. The strong current is a natural barrier, but reaching it literally means crossing wide open water with zero cover. You draw a deep breath, coil your tail, and just go. But that ripple instantly alerts the patrolling bitcher. You know what I am thinking, right? This is bad. You speed up, but that angry bitcher is faster. 3 centimeters. 2, 1. Just as its sharp teeth almost snap onto your tail, you wrench your body completely sideways, forcing yourself deep into a tiny rock. Crack. Boom. The bitcher slams its teeth straight into solid stone. The sharp impact echoes loudly everywhere. That serious pain sends it into pure rage. A sudden silver flash bursts out. The angry bitcher strikes from the side, driving straight for your eye, just like a thrown blade. At the last possible second, you drop down hard, letting its teeth scrape your head, completely shearing off a small sliver of your dorsal fin. Extreme pain whites out your vision, but you cannot stop. Rolling with the crazy momentum, you drive hard toward the filter. Thud. You crash into the housing, wedging yourself safely into the narrow gap behind it. The angry bitcher paces outside in pure frustration, finally giving up. Chat completely detonates. It is actually using the terrain. Did it bait the bitcher into the wall? Jay, your fish are absolute garbage. Jay looks completely furious now. He rubs his reddened eyes, aggressively grabbing a long-handled net. All right guys, time to raise the stakes. The tank lid crashes open. He stirs the water violently, sending driftwood and plants tumbling everywhere. Your safe cover is instantly blown away. That massive arapaima jolts awake, violently swinging around. When its terrifying silver shadow falls over you, you can literally see the ridges inside its throat. Completely cornered and out of options, you do something insane. You dive straight toward the dangerous electric eel nest at the bottom. Boom! Blinding blue light detonates through the water. The entire tank becomes a pulsing blue cube of raw electricity. The giant arapaima convulses and recoils. You seize the moment, bolting for the surface. Trust me, this is epic. You throw everything into one explosive leap. Let's jump into this wild survival game. Jay hovers his phone, only seeing a dark shape rocket up before your tail smacks his face, freezing the camera. The chat goes completely wild. Ha ha ha. He totally got outsmarted by a fish. Epic counter-attack. This carp is built different. By the time Jay frantically grabs his phone, you're already hiding in the deepest corner of the tank. The viewer count isn't dropping. It's climbing, smashing past 1,000. Jay's shout literally shakes the camera. Everyone follow this channel. I'm telling you, this carp won't make it through tonight. It's just a final, desperate struggle. Tomorrow, we check the results. The stream cuts black. Jay glares at the tank, his eyes locking onto his prized arapaima. A standard carp thinks it can rule my precious tank? By 1:47 a.m., only a faint street lamp glows in the water. You curl up behind the filter, every single scale, totally aching. Do these giant monsters ever sleep? Watching these huge predators circling, you honestly start missing the fish market. At least back there, nobody was actively trying to munch you. That place was paradise. Ding. Player survival time, 7 hours and 23 minutes. Current injury level moderate. Dorsal fin torn, tail scales missing. Warning, 3 alligator gars entered hunting mode. Your gills lock up. 3 absolute prehistoric looking beasts start circling the middle of the water. Their dagger teeth catch the light. On the right, the golden dorado sweeps its giant eyes across every corner. How many fierce bosses are in here? Suddenly, dark ghost, knifefish, glides past like a shadow. You instinctively push deeper into your hiding spot, backing right into something hard. The Florida snapping turtle, the guy who never moves. It slowly opens its tiny little eyes. Like magic, every single predator stirs at once. The silver arowana moves first, its long body darting right at you like silver lightning. You launch sideways, its teeth just graze your gill, tearing away a bright strip of scales. You gasp from pain, but keep swimming, riding its momentum straight toward the driftwood, only to meet the golden dorado's massive open jaws. Now watch closely. Here's where it gets crazy. You twist your body, tail, slamming the red-tail catfish, making it crash right into the dorado, totally knocking it off course. But you aren't safe yet. A 2-pound tarpon magically loops behind you, sinking sharp teeth into your tail. The sudden sting literally darkens your vision. You thrash with all your might, dragging the tarpon straight into the heater rod. It hisses, instantly zapped with heat. The tarpon flails in shock, letting you go. You dive into the thick Amazon sword plants and hear a crack. The Florida snapping turtle is here. It crunches the roots in one bite. Are you kidding me? You mentally scream and spin, only to face a massive mouth full of bony ridges. The ancient Polypterus. At 12:42 a.m., you have totally lost count of your lucky, narrow escapes. Your left eye is scratched, vision blurry, dorsal fin almost split. Every single breath sends sharp aches through your side. Ding. Survival talent active. Pain block 60%. Muscle boosted 30%. Without this skill, you would have lost instantly. But surviving isn't painless. It still hurts like absolutely crazy. You and I both feel this tension, right? Through the haze, the huge Arapaima moves. The tank's true ruler steps up. Its giant body parts. The water, sending tremors through the sand. Is this really game over? You stare at the huge shadow, tail twitching on pure instinct. Suddenly, you spot a glint. The feeding hatch J forced open last night is still slightly cracked. The boss's jaws are literally just inches away. Using every last ounce of energy, you slam the bottom rock and somehow thread through its gill cover, leaving a trail of glowing bubbles. Riding that wild momentum, you rocket toward the surface like lightning. Before the hatch closes, smack, your body slips halfway into the tube. The angry Arapaima smashes the wall. The tank intensely shudders while you bravely wiggle inside. This narrow tube is a perfect blind spot. You gasp in the dark, watching the predator pace outside. Your bruised mouth curls into a proud grin. Just wait. Tomorrow I'll be stronger. I won't lose. I will win, and eventually rule this tank. The first night passes. At 10:15 next morning, Jay clicks the stream on. Relax, guys. With damage like that, no way his voice completely stops. So what do we learn? Never underestimate an underdog. On screen, the triumphant carp drifts into view. You and I are about to watch an epic underdog story, starting with this absolutely massive, gleaming scar right on its head. The chat goes crazy. How is it swimming looking like that? No way. Hey Jay, is your ego hurt? He almost drops his phone. He stares, his mouth twitching in shock. Impossible. His voice cracks super high, and he slams his fist onto the coffee table. It won't even make it to noon. Just look at these wounds. He shoves the camera close, showing off the shredded tail and fully exposed gills. These injuries are completely fatal. Yet here it is, the absolute final little spark. Jay takes a deep breath, forcing that cocky smirk back on. Guys, relax. It is just its final spark. He heads straight to the mini fridge, pulls out a bag, and holds it high. Let me show you real fish food. Splash. Splash. 5 plump goldfish pour right into the tank. The arapaima drifts over smoothly, swallowing fish and water together in one massive gulp. A red mist filters through its gills. The other predators devour their shares just as fast. The red haze quickly spreads through the water. Chat erupts. Insane. Wait, something is weird. Why are they ignoring the injured carp? Look, it is using the red cloud as cover, slipping toward the filter. Jay scoffs. It won't make it. Before he finishes speaking, the black ghost knife fish shoots from the shadows, driving straight at your belly. At the last second, you snap into a sharp turn. Those teeth leave nothing but a fresh scratch on your already ruined tail. Fin. The chat totally loses its mind. That movement. Is your ego okay, streamer? Do you need some ice? Give the carp more screen time. Jay smirks, completely ignoring them. Forget the carp. Check out my actual collection. He pivots to show off his prized fish one by one, keeping you out of frame. But nobody is watching anything else. Stick with me. Every viewer is waiting to see what happens next. At 11:47 p.m., the tank goes dark. You are curled behind the filter, every muscle shaking. Today's wild escapes have burned through almost everything you had left. What rotten luck. Ding. Player survival time, 48 hours and 12 minutes. Current infection level, 41% and climbing. Warning, body temperature rising abnormally. You reach the system with fading strength. How long can I last? Current status survival probability is 29.7%. Recommend finding antibiotic material right away. You strain your eyes scanning the tank floor and spot a few blue pellets. Fish medication J dropped in earlier. But 3 African tiger fishes are camped right on top of them, eyes glowing cold green in the dark. You have zero choice. You start moving slowly, and your damaged scales instantly draw the patrolling black ghost knife fish toward you. As it closes in, a memory flashes through your mind. You slam your tail against the heater tube. Boom! The loud metallic clang travels through the water. The knife fish freezes instantly, and even the arapaima totally reacts. In that split second, you dart toward the bottom. The African tiger fishes sense you coming. But just as they turn, the massive arapaima sweeps through the water like a wall, scattering all 3 tiger fishes in every direction. You dart in, snatch 2 pellets in your mouth, and spin to run. Snap! The Florida snapping turtle's teeth graze your belly, tearing away a ruined scale. But you are finally back in safe cover. Broad-spectrum antibiotic intake detected. Infection rate slowing. You rest behind your shelter, letting your body recover. At exactly midnight, the system chimes right on schedule, drawing today's awesome random reward. Congratulations! Basic regeneration obtained. Wound healing increased by 400%. Duration, 12 hours. Bonus attribute, Constitution talent points, plus 10. Permanent. Warmth floods through you, changing your body in real time. At 4 times the normal speed. Watch this closely. You can actually see the wounds close. You and I both know those 10 permanent Constitution points are the ultimate turning point. You test your body very carefully, feeling the brand new strength flowing through. Through the murky water, the predators patrol endlessly. But your eyes show zero fear. Just wait. Your mouth curves into a little smile. Tomorrow will be better. At 7:05 m, Jay shoves the door open, sausage in his mouth, tossing his bag aside. Packets of fish food scatter totally across the floor. His stream title reads, Predator Tank, Arapaima, good morning. He props his phone up and mumbles, let's see who showed up to watch it fail. The light sweeps right across the tank, and Jay's hand completely freezes in midair. The sausage drops from his lips. The carp everyone wrote off is gliding steadily right through the mid-level water. The scar is brutal, but it moves stronger than before. So what do you and I learn here? Never give up. Stick with me here, because the stream chat completely detonates. Everyone is absolutely losing their minds over this fish's insane healing. Haha, the streamer lost his bet. Viewers start sending flower gifts immediately. Jay's hand is totally shaking. He angrily crushes a dropped cigarette. Everyone calm down. He forces himself steady, but his voice totally cracks. It is just a scratch. 3 days, and it is gone. I guarantee that. He swings the camera toward his prized pets, but the chat totally shifts. Everyone keeps talking about you instead. Viewers demand you get way more screen time. Jay furiously ignores them all. Meanwhile, inside the tank, you keep secretly watching Jay stream. You are burning every single detail of his smug face into your memory. This dude bought you just for fish food. Pure anger builds inside you. Every ounce of suffering, every terrifying close call recently, all his fault. You really think you can treat me like a basic snack? Just you wait. Payback is coming. The stream ends late. Darkness hits. Player survival time, 72 hours and 17 minutes. Status, moderate. Injuries, slowly healing. Hunger level, critical. A sharp, cramping pain suddenly stabs your belly. 3 full days without proper food. Your rapid healing has totally burned through massive energy reserves. You are starving. Jay only feeds live prey to the giants. There is absolutely nothing for you. You must find food. Your eyes scan the entire tank. 2 massive red-tailed catfishes circle each other near the rocks, twitching aggressively. And sitting right between them, the final scrap of meat from last night. Now watch closely, because a wild plan takes shape. You slowly drift closer like a falling leaf, acting completely weak and totally helpless. The injured redtail spots you instantly, gills flaring a warning. You deliberately pause right there, fake a sudden panic, and dart straight toward the other rival. The furious redtail violently charges. Right before impact, you cut a super hard turn. Its snout grazes your scales, slamming into its rival. Both redtails instantly lock together, scales flying. They violently churn the water. You dart in from below, snatching that scrap with pinpoint precision. Food finally hits your mouth. It is barely the size of a fingernail, but right now, it is an absolute, life-saving miracle. You watch the 2 redtails fiercely battling, and your entire expression turns completely cold. This dangerous tank is molding you into a hunter. You hide, carefully surveying the chaotic aftermath. Cloudy water drifts with floating scales. The injured predators lost their swagger, now weakly drifting away. Your gaze pierces the wreckage, locking onto the darkest far corner of the giant tank. The fearsome Arapaima territory. An idea detonates. What if I stop it from attacking me? You and I both know the Arapaima rules here. Even aggressive piranhas avoid its massive territory. And you are the absolute weakest thing inside. Constantly walking a razor-thin edge every single day. One piranha could easily finish you. But this tank has rules. Every top predator holds territory. The Arapaima roams totally freely by day, but at night, it always retreats to that far right corner to completely rest up. Slipping into that resting zone, or shadowing it daily, guarantees safety. Its sheer, massive size becomes the ultimate shield in here. Nobody ever gets close. Tucked underneath, you become the safest creature in here. Decision made. Zero hesitation. Now, you slowly move forward, checking that fresh wound on your tail. The wound closed, but throbbing pain reminds you how totally exposed you are. Rocks and filters are simply not enough protection. Using floating debris for cover, you slowly creep straight toward the Arapaima's giant territory. Getting closer, you feel a deep, rhythmic vibration shaking the water. The beast is breathing. Almost there. You hide behind a flat rock, perfectly still. From here, its giant silhouette is visible. Silver scales gleam like metal. Its huge body rises and falls with each breath. Then you spot it. A totally fresh wound on its left gill. Definitely from that earlier brawl. Your mind absolutely races. You quickly snatch a drifting water plant right into your mouth. You are perfectly mimicking a cleaner fish, grooming annoying parasites off massive predators in the wild. You edge forward, mind screaming, "Please do not turn around. Please do not eat me." Your heart pounds wildly. You slowly inch toward that huge gill wound. Just half a meter away, you completely freeze. Trust me, watch this. You release the plant, letting the current carry it toward the wound. Stick with me here. This is intense. The giant Arapima's eye shifts. Its huge body twitches. You freeze, not letting your gills move. Time completely stops. Every second stretches out like an absolute century. Then, it finally settles back into its slow, heavy breathing rhythm. It is actually working. A wild surge of joy hits. This absolute behemoth does not even register you as a threat. Makes perfect sense. You are too tiny to be a snack, let alone danger. Over the next few tense hours, you play this dangerous game repeatedly. First, you hide near water plants, then slowly close the gap, sometimes even dragging over little sunken food crumbs as well. Every single tiny movement is perfectly calculated to avoid triggering its reaction. Before long, when moonlight shines through the curtains, you drift within 30 centimeters and it does not react at all. For fish, that is literally nose to nose. The final phase. You take a huge breath and prep for the most critical move yet. Everything comes down to this exact moment. The night is completely silent. You make your absolute boldest move, easing right toward the space beneath its flank, finding a flat stone perfectly made for resting. Easy now. Do not rush. You silently coach yourself. Every scale, standing up, muscles fully coiled, to sprint at any second. You fan your tail just a tiny bit, barely rippling the water, drifting forward lightly, like a falling feather. But then, as your tail grazes its flank, the giant gill cover snaps wide open. Watch closely. This gets wild. The motion hits you like thunder. Your mind blanks. Your body turns icy. You brace for the worst. But amazingly, the Arapaima just gives its tail a gentle flick, shifts its huge body, and actually makes more room for you. You freeze in pure disbelief. Seconds tick by. Then an overwhelming wave of pure joy crashes over you. Moving fast, you carefully settle onto that flat stone. The current from the giant breathing brings the richest oxygen you have tasted in days. While its massive body acts like an absolute fortress wall, it actually worked out. Your little heart feels ready to explode. The crazy plan succeeded, with the big guy as your shield. Unless that streamer pulls another wild stunt, you finally have some real backup. You pull back quickly. Stay careful. You must remain cautious, since absolutely nothing here is friendly. They are all incredibly dangerous in unpredictable ways. Who knows if this giant might just swallow you like a tiny snack on a bad day. Thinking about this, you quietly drift just a bit further away. Morning sunlight finally hits the glass tank. The water stirs awake after a long, silent night. Splash! A reckless piranha swims a little too close. The Arapaima suddenly erupts. Its massive tail swings like a hammer, launching the piranha right through the water, slamming it into the glass wall, instantly knocked out cold. And you, sitting right beside the giant, remain completely untouched. You even zip out at the perfect moment to steal the half-chewed food that the unconscious piranha spat out upon impact. Free breakfast. Looks like you chose the perfect ally. You quietly celebrate inside. You watch the giant's reaction closely and realize it truly does not mind you. Actually, it just never looks at you directly, which totally makes sense for a big tank boss. Jay always feeds it live fish several times your size. You and I get it, right? Why would it notice you? Finally, you actually feel something close to stable. The tight nerves that have been on edge for 3 straight days can finally relax a little. Since the moment you arrived in this tank, you haven't rested for 3 whole days. Every single moment was either escaping from danger or recovering from it. Without the system, any other carp would have been fish food long ago. Wait a minute, the system? You suddenly remember your daily perk. You have not claimed today's random reward yet. System, draw the reward. Ding. Drawing daily survival bonus. Congratulations. Agility attribute +1. Late that night, around 2:17 in the morning on a huge streaming platform, someone edits a 3-minute, 27-second video of your crazy encounters with Jay over the past days. They set it to a pumping soundtrack with the title that completely stops people cold. 3 days. Will not quit. What is a true miracle? The Scar Carp will absolutely show you. The video opens with Jay yanking you from the wet market, following the chaos, right until he tosses you into the scary predator tank. And every high-intensity moment of your 3-day battle with the tank gets perfectly cut in. The video completely blows up the moment it goes live. In just hours, it easily crosses 10,000 views. Countless viewers click in purely because of that epic title. But by the time the video finishes, the comments and reactions are filled with pure shock. What kind of carp survives a bag lacking water, dropped from a floor up and still swimming? This tough little guy absolutely refuses to quit. Trust me, you and I know how impossible it gets. The viewers are watching with their eyes practically bulging, dropped into a tank with a 30-degree temperature difference. And it did not cook. It actually adapted. Stick with me, you and I are about to watch a tiny carp outsmart a whole tank of apex predators. The others, gone in 5 minutes. But this absolute legend, still swimming, after a full night of taking brutal hits and barely surviving. It bounced back the very next morning, looking even stronger. The internet completely loses its mind. And it gets crazier. This carp dodges strikes before they even happen. It literally uses the environment. When the clip ends and Jay loses his mind on camera, grabbing a pipe to hunt the little guy down, the comment section goes absolutely wild. They mock his tantrum, but seeing the carp glide through that murky water, the entire chat drops into total silence. If this unedited live stream footage wasn't totally verified, who would actually believe any of this? How is a carp this smart? The comments are blowing up. This literally defies science. That recovery speed is totally unexplained. If my expensive koi had this epic ability, I would feed it top-tier luxury food every single day. I am convinced this carp has an actual soul. My heart is literally racing just watching a fish. Viewers analyze it frame by frame. Others just celebrate the epic underdog. The hype spreads like wildfire. Then that final clip of Jay raging plays, and serious concern ripples through the chat. Oh no. The streamer cannot handle a massive loss. Pay attention here. What if he actually ends it? He is hunting it down himself. No way it escapes. Look at his face. Things look terrible for our hero. Tag me when he goes live. This guy is crazy. Just keep the fish safe. The views are crazy. Some people just do not get it. You really think one carp is worth more than my whole elite predator tank? Could it ever match my legendary arapaima? While the debate rages, massive waves of new viewers flood in, tagging the streamer everywhere. Everyone wants to see his channel immediately. Jay's stream link drops under the video. His follower count instantly skyrockets, and everyone is waiting for him to go live. That afternoon, Jay paces around his studio like a total trapped animal. His phone is blowing up non-stop. Platform alerts, fan messages, and sponsors all reaching out. He is totally blindsided by this massive wave of new attention. So famous, so fast. He searches. Why? An intense irritation completely swallows him. Clawing at his hair, he feels like he is losing it. The wall clock reads 2:55 p.m. Only hours until the ban lifts. Jay furiously kicks a PVC pipe. It clatters across the room, stopping right in front of the tank. He looks up and immediately spots it. The viral fish, casually circling his prized arapaima as if silently mocking him. Jay simply cannot wrap his head around this absolute madness. Why hasn't his massive arapaima eaten it? He cannot understand why one basic carp is pulling all this attention. His tank is packed with elite predators. That arapaima alone is on a completely different level. Isn't it 10,000 times more impressive? Jay, one more platform violation ruins your reach. Assistant Min carefully peeks through the door. Hey, Ming, we just skipped the carp stream today? His mods flood his inbox, begging him to chill. Jay squeezes his fist tightly, but finally just waves it off. Go set up. I know what to do. The ban lifts, equipment is ready, and the stream goes live perfectly on time. Jay forces out that stiff smile. He has been perfectly rehearsing for 30 minutes. Hey everyone, I am back. His voice pitches way too high, sounding absolutely, painfully fake. But the viewer count is way more insane than he imagined. People flood in like crazy. In seconds, 5,000 people are watching live. The chat instantly explodes. Where is the carp? Stop stalling and show us. You look awful, streamer. Just drop the fake act. You and I both know he is furious. Did he end it? Jay forces himself to ignore everything. Today, I'll tour my tank ecosystem. His voice wavers slightly. He points the lens at his prized arowana. But nobody cares. The chat spams. The carp. The carp. The carp. Nobody cares about your fish. We want the carp. It is not gone, right? Speak up. Jay's temples throb, nails digging into his palms. He takes one deep, heavy breath, forcing the bitter words out from deep within his chest. He points the camera to the other side. Fine. If everyone wants the carp, let's see it. The lens slowly pans. When the frame settles on the far end, the entire stream goes dead silent for 1 second, then absolutely detonates. There it is. The carp, calmly resting right beside the Arapaimo's enormous dorsal fin. One massive creature like a submarine, one nimble as a blade. Two impossibly different sizes forming a legendary picture nobody expected to witness. The stream gets forcefully cut. Jay collapses to the floor, totally drained. Trust me, we absolutely need to see what happens next. You silently glide your tail right behind the big Arapaima, watching him crumble with totally cold, detached eyes. Let's dive in. You and I are wondering, what is this guy's problem? Why keep glaring at us? He bought you 3 days in a row, yet somehow, you feel like the issue here. Your mind is just completely spinning with so many mysterious questions. You can see his actions, but you have zero hearing. Your lateral line only picks up deep vibrations and really powerful shocks. Through the thick glass and water, you cannot catch a single word. If only you could actually hear him. At least then, you would know what he mutters about all day. If he is cooking up another wild scheme, you would have plenty of time to prepare. You watch Jay pack up to leave and drift toward the Arapaima's corner, but suddenly, you stop completely dead. Your body freezes mid-glide. Something mysterious flashes through your mind, but it is just too blurry. You scan the entire tank very carefully. In the dim light, everything feels eerily quiet. Just the soft swishing of predators moving through the water. Something feels super wrong here. But what is it? You turn it over in your mind, eyes sweeping every corner, and then bam, it hits you. The streamer ended his broadcast today without feeding a single fish. The second that registers, your expression drops completely. Not waiting another moment, you dash straight for the Arapaima's corner. Now watch closely, because things get wild. He skipped feeding them on purpose to make them hungry enough to attack. The Arapaima might stay calm, but those piranhas need to eat constantly. If they stay hungry, this entire tank is going to turn into a total disaster zone. Deep in the night, the tank glass starts glowing with the cool blue tint under the moonlight. This 30-degree water somehow feels just like solid ice. You ease your tail into slow motion, drifting gently in the calmest current you can find, burning as little precious energy as possible. That burning hunger in your stomach gets worse every minute, like tiny teeth gnawing from the inside. It has been almost 4 full days. You murmur softly in your mind, gills working hard. Ding. Player status check initiated. Hunger level at 91. Absolutely critical. Stamina at 39. Weakened state. Warning, sustained hunger causes strength loss. Bubbles drift from your lips as you watch the tiny particles floating by. The predators Jay has been deliberately starving are finally starting to stir. You can clearly see the piranha school moving in erratic patterns. Their sleek bodies flash through plants like silver lightning, snapping random turns and showing off teeth. They are even hungrier than you. Your tail trembles faintly. A brilliant, dangerous idea forms in your mind. These carnivores are starving. It begins. Suddenly, a massive red-tailed catfish lunges past above you, its wake stirring up the sand from the driftwood below. This normally lazy creature has its gills spread wide now. Bulging eyes scan every corner of the tank, making you tighten every muscle instantly. Driven by pure hunger, These predators might break their territorial rules at any moment. Player be advised, 3 African tiger fishes have entered active state. Recommend finding cover immediately, but you do not move. Instead, you narrow your eyes and closely study every one of those restless predators. The silver arowana has lost its usual shiny scales. It circles anxiously near the rocks, while the piranha school grows more chaotic by the second. Even the Florida snapping turtle has crept its tiny eyes out from its shell, blinking with super alert suspicion. You and I know exactly what comes next. A genius strategy forms. If he wants to make life tough, his precious fish are going down. You drift deliberately near the piranha school, then suddenly tilt your body, moving sluggishly and twitching every few seconds for dramatic effect. This dramatic performance immediately draws the 2 hungriest piranhas. They shoot toward you like speeding silver bullets. Now, up before their teeth reach you, you explode forward. You guide them precisely into the resting red-tail catfish. Boom! The water absolutely erupts. The piranhas slam hard into the red-tail's flank. It instantly opens its huge mouth in total blind fury. Both fish lock together instantly. Scales explode outward, sending absolute chaos into the water around them. Still not enough. You swing around to the far side of the zone and slap your tail against the current to make noise. This crazy commotion draws the starving silver arowana instantly. Its enormous body charges toward you like a massive underwater tank. You calculate the angle and sidestep at the very last moment. The arowana cannot stop in time, plowing straight into that epic piranha and red tail brawl. Crash! 3 massive predators tangle together instantly. The arawana's armored scales rake the red tail's skin. The piranhas latch onto the arawana's fin. The red tail lashes its tail in pain, accidentally clipping the golden dorado passing nearby. The chaos spreads like wildfire. The pure frenzy in the water pushes every single starving predator past the point of reason. Trust me, we aren't done. The other fish circle this wild brawl with rising aggression. Even the giant arapaima drifts over, looking just like an ancient monster woken from deep time, keeping its hungry eyes on the epic brawl. Stick with me here. You stay tucked in the driftwood, watching the wild chaos you brilliantly orchestrated. The plan works perfectly. No food for you? Then let these legendary beasts totally wreck each other instead. Every tasty scrap drifting loose is another chance to survive. And right then, the Florida snapping turtle crawls up from the bottom, totally drawn by the scent of battle. It looks slow, but it viciously bites the red-tail's fin in a literal flash. This is your moment. You dart behind the turtle. This old creature always drops tasty scraps when attacking. And sure enough, several huge chunks of meat are slowly drifting right downward. You launch forward, grabbing the largest piece with absolute perfect timing. The amazing taste of real meat dissolves in your mouth. That amazing feeling of being full almost makes you physically shake. Just as you savor this rare meal, the epic brawl completely escalates. The silver arowana takes a nasty piranha bite right to its eye. It goes totally berserk, wildly slamming into the rocks and driftwood over and over. The entire tank trembles. Absolutely perfect. A clever gleam flashes through your eyes. As the chaotic battle rages on, the massive damage inside gets worse by the minute. The silver arowana, worth 8,000, loses a third of its scales. The red-tail catfish's beautiful tail gets completely shredded beyond all recognition. You smoothly drift to the glass, happily looking at the torn scales and red threads totally dissolving in the water. You and I both know this feeling. Pure epic payback is exactly what you wanted. At 6:35 a.m., Jay finally pushes open his studio door, rocking huge dark circles under both eyes. He stayed at the bar until 3 a.m. and his temples are still absolutely pounding. That silly little carp has got to be finished now. I totally starved it yesterday and my predators should have handled the rest. He heads straight for the huge floor tank, the literal second he walks through that door. Let me see. Where is the carp? He is rubbing his temple when his muttering suddenly cuts off. Cold. The breakfast bag slips right from his hand. Hot soy milk splashes his leg. He does not notice. The wild state of the tank hits him like an absolute truck. His silver arowana, worth 8,800, drags itself along the bottom like a wet rag. Huge scale patches are gone, exposing raw pink muscle. His red-tailed catfish, worth 30,500, curls in a corner. Its iconic red fin is reduced to bare spines. 6 African tiger fishes, 480 each, float completely belly up at the water surface. One is literally bitten in half. This insane scene totally short-circuits Jay's brain. He stumbles to the glass, lips shaking, wildly scanning left and right. At least his giant arapaima survived. But even so, Jay gulps hard as his throat bobs nervously. His legs give out completely. He drops straight to his knees with a heavy thud. His shaking fingers drag white scratch marks all the way down the glass. His voice shakes out of control. My fish, my poor fish. You actually heard him coming a mile away. I know what you are thinking. This is gold. Resting calmly, you watch through the murky water as every frantic emotion hits Jay's face. Confusion, total shock, then pure anguish. That normally arrogant face is now completely white as paper. Veins pop at his temples. The corners of his mouth frantically twitch without control. A deep, amazing satisfaction floods through you. You spent the whole night risking everything to cook up an epic disaster for this dude. And it literally landed perfectly. And this is only the absolute beginning. You deliberately drift over to a ruined piranha and pretend to casually nibble it, exposing your body. Your round eyes flick toward Jay the entire time, angling yourself perfectly so he sees exactly how crazy, alive, and energetic you really are. As your cheeky shape drifts across his vision, his shocked gaze locks totally onto you and will not let go. Seeing exactly what you are doing, Jay's breathing turns incredibly heavy. He angrily lurches up, grabbing the tank edge with both hands, knuckles totally white. It is you. His shaky voice grinds out from somewhere furiously between his teeth. It had to be you, you absolute menace. He spins around, lunging at his desk to frantically boot up all his streaming gear. The literal second his camera goes live, his pale face and completely wrecked hair fill the screen. What is happening so early? Jay, what happened to you? Where were you last night? Wait. What exactly is in the tank? The online chatter instantly erupts. What in the world? What happened to the arowana? The piranhas are completely gone. Where is the carp? We want the carp. Answering their call, you smoothly glide out from behind the driftwood. That epic scar on your head proudly gleams under the bright tank lights. Your scales look way more vibrant and full than yesterday. You even give your tail a clean, powerful flick right in front of the camera lens. Scar Carp is the absolute MVP, the ultimate carp revenge. Jay, where are all your precious fish? Where is your legendary tank? Jay's left hand starts violently shaking completely beyond his control. He desperately tries to breathe, then sees the crazy chat and completely loses it. The streamer looks sick. Haha, career advice bro, switch to carp farming. So what do we learn here? Never mess with a genius, carp. The chat goes totally wild, and Jay's panicked voice is cracking now. Let's dive right into this. Do you know how expensive these fish are? Imported straight from Malaysia. The red tail, raised for 2 whole years, and now it's totally ruined. Every single one. His angry face instantly melts into pure, absolute sadness. He grabs his hair, totally losing it. Meanwhile, the live chat is absolutely loving this drama. They type, "Just chill out, streamer. Don't cry, Jay. Get up. It's not that serious. It was definitely the carp." Jay suddenly shoves his face toward the lens, eyes completely wild. That thing is absolutely not normal. Look at it. 0 scratches. How is that even possible? Very possible. Because it is a scar. Carp. Jay breathes faster. He spins around, tearing right through his cabinet. Today, I will deal with this once and for all. His hand hits something metal. He freezes completely, his expression shifting. It's a giant fish-catching net. Watch closely, everyone. Jay's voice drops to an unnervingly quiet tone. Today, I will show you exactly how a true professional handles a problem. Fish. He grabs the net, hands still shaking, and aims it directly at our carp in the water. The chat explodes. We are all thinking it. Run. Carp. Run. Our carp spots the danger on Jay's faceway before he moves. Dodging smoothly behind the big arapaima, Jay tracks it with his net, but he just cannot bring himself to swing. One wrong move might hurt the arapaima, which is worth way more than anything else in that tank. Get out here. Get out here right now. Jay aggressively bangs the glass using the net handle, his voice cracking into something that sounds so dangerously close to crying. Just come out. Suddenly, his phone totally explodes with vibrations. Rapid alerts from platform enforcement land in quick succession. Your stream got reported for animal mistreatment. A massive volume of viewer complaints detected. Stream suspended for 24 hours. That final message totally breaks him. He drops to the floor, staring at the ruined tank with empty eyes, mouth moving on autopilot. 8,800 for the arowana, 3,500 for the redtail, 1,200 for piranhas. Chat hits peak comedy now. Haha. Total meltdown live on stream. Streamer, change your username to bullied to tears by a carp. The chat scrolls by at lightning speed. Then the stream goes totally black. After the stream closes, Jay just sits there, breathing heavily for a long time. Finally, he drags himself up to stare at the ruined prize fish floating inside his tank. His fingertips hover over the water for a full 3 seconds before he finally dares reaching in. We both know something is off. Touching the arowana, his eyebrow twitches twice against his will. He grinds his teeth, scooping the fallen fish into his net. This is so strange. My fish have never fought like this before. Why would they go at it this hard? He bends down to look closer. His nose almost touches the badly bruised scales. The awful smell shoots straight to his brain. He doesn't pull away. He stares at the injuries for over 10 seconds, then straightens his posture sharply. He tosses the fallen fish into the freezer, moving mechanically. He scoops out fish after fish until every single code swimmer has been cleared out. Only then does he lock eyes on our carp with a cold, flat stare. So, you think you are something special, huh? A short, icy laugh. The net thuds against the glass. I will play this game as long as it takes. He drops into his chair, staring at the dark monitor. He notices the carp's super chill silhouette swimming past the completely ruined bodies of his prized fish. His breathing speeds up again. It is just a carp. How did it ruin his entire collection? Has it actually evolved past a normal fish? Evolved? What am I even saying? He stops himself, snapping the crazy thought away out loud. But even while denying it, Jay knows the absolute truth. He has never seen anything like this carp. 10 years keeping apex predators, and a single carp broke him. If word spreads, he will never live it down. Jay's eyes harden instantly. He slams a fist into his thigh. I have completely lost it. He shoots to his feet and dials the phone quickly. Joe, do you have any red devil cichlids? Yeah, full-grown ones. At least 10. And what about the big black devilfish? Still got them? I will take all of them. Send everything over now. He hangs up. Jay exhales a long breath. A super cold smile tugs his mouth. I have spoiled my fish too much. That is why they couldn't catch you. Let's see how you handle what is coming next. Because at the end of the day, you are just a carp. What kind of waves can a carp make? After Jay leaves, our carp waits and watches until nothing is moving. Only then does it ease out of cover. Pushing him this hard today? Of course, he broke. He will bring more. The carp knows that. But it is not afraid. He decided to treat our little guy as food first. Losing a few fish seems totally fair. Anyway, today's daily survival reward still hasn't been claimed. System, claim the reward. Ding. Drawing survival reward. Ding. Congrats. Hearing amplified by 200%. The instant the system finishes speaking, a massive flood of sounds crashes into its mind. So what do you and I take from this? Every water splash, pump hum, feeding crunch, and outside noise, it is all completely razor sharp. Come along with me on this one. Pure joy hits you. Next time Jay shows up, you will catch every single word he says. Super hearing, an upgraded sense of smell, and your sharp mind. your survival chances are skyrocketing. These are your ultimate weapons. Another night falls. You drift slowly, keeping totally balanced. 48 hours without a solid meal, and your stomach is absolutely burning. You sparked a massive turf war among those predators, but finding a safe moment to actually eat? Impossible. Once those beasts catch a scent, they go completely feral. If you stayed in that mess, you would have been history. Warning, your stomach is running on empty. Today, Jay skipped feeding the tank again. Your eyes instantly sharpen. Still playing these games? Fine. Today, I will make it sting again. Let's see your limits. You ease into the open water, scanning every single angle. Your lateral line catches something totally weird. Two golden dorados are clashing over the driftwood zone. These South American hunters are famous for their wild aggression, and their foreheads are locked tight. Scales grinding together, making a harsh sound that truly rattles your nerves. You spot a fresh scrape on the bigger one's left eye, leftover from last night. Instantly, a brilliant plan clicks into place. First, you dart toward 3 African wolfish. Their ambush speed is completely unreal, basically matching a track star at full sprint. When the closest wolfish is 20 centimeters away, you violently thrash your body around. That crazy movement stirs up a thick cloud of bubbles, totally startling all 3 predators. They snap straight into attack mode, but you have already slipped right beside a passing fish, vanishing perfectly into its dark shadow. Now watch this carefully, because it gets absolutely wild. You launch like a released arrow toward that injured golden dorado, cutting extremely hard right before the final impact. Your tail slams directly into its scraped left eye. Boom! The struck golden dorado whips its head in pure fury, colliding straight into the charging wolfish. Both fierce hunters lock onto each other. Their rolling brawl snaps a fragile branch off the driftwood, and that sharp spike slices right across the dorado's belly like a javelin. Red mist spreads through the water, like a wild switch just flipped. The second golden dorado joins the chaotic fight. 3 giant fish, each 40 centimeters long, clash fiercely inside this super tight space. Floating scales cloud the water even further. That intense scent spreads through the entire tank like an invisible net, filling every single corner. You slowly drift, tail fin swaying gently, keeping totally steady. The massive fight you engineered between the dorado and wolfish rages on. Pale red threads drift outward, looking just like a beautiful abstract painting. Not quite enough. You narrow your eyes. One thought remains. He needs to feel a lot more pain. I know what you're thinking. Brutal, right? But for Jay, the damage is minor. Only the tiny fish were wiped out. The silver arowana took serious damage, but keeps clinging to survival. For a few days, Jay stopped causing trouble, but he hasn't fed anyone either. Not even once. Another quiet night. You quietly hover in the shadows between the decorative rocks and that driftwood. Golden pupils contracting slightly. 7 intense days of surviving on the extreme edge have made your scales incredibly, ridiculously sensitive. You easily detect even the tiniest temperature shift in the water. Drawing today's survival reward. Water pressure sense level 1 is unlocked. A magical, current-like pulse floods right through your nerves. You can literally see the tank's pressure map, the swirling vortex the arapaima creates, and the sharp pressure spikes when those piranhas quickly turn. Even the super tiny tremors caused by the Florida snapping turtle slowly dragging across the bottom. Everything forms a crystal clear picture in your mind. You give your tail a slow, testing wave to check out this awesome new skill. 20 centimeters away, every tiny opening and closing of a wolfish's gill instantly registers in your mind as precise, expanding pressure rings. Combined with your boosted hearing and smell, you can confidently declare that in this tank, your survival skills are easily number 1. But just surviving is not enough. System, open panel, player Evan, identity, carp, constitution 30, totally ordinary, strength 15, weak, agility 20, very weak, talents, last gasp, water pressure, sense, enhanced smell, and enhanced hearing. These stats are way stronger than last week, but still lag behind the giant monsters here. Without your sharp mind, you'd be history. You playfully flip your tail. Intense hunger tears at your stomach like sharp hooks. 3 meters right, 3 golden dorados are currently on patrol. The largest one carries a scar on its left eye. That is the mark from when you totally tricked it into smashing rocks 2 days ago. A gentle stream of bubbles escapes your mouth. You completely lock your intense focus onto something at the base of that driftwood. Trust me, this is where we hold our breath. To reach that torn fin from 2 days ago, you must cross a vicious wolfish patrol zone. You run through the mental procedure built over 3 days of intense practice. Observe, predict, calculate. Stick with me here. You strike like golden lightning, grabbing that food scrap before the wolffish can even process what happened. But as you spin to leave, your tail barely brushes against driftwood. That tiny vibration instantly wakes up the huge tiger shovel nose resting behind the rocks. The massive beast snaps its jaws open, 6 whiskers, tracking you like radar. Even worse, the intense scent brings 3 hungry golden dorados. Every single scale flares up, but sheer panic actually sharpens your mind instead of freezing it. You purposely charge right at the fiercest one, that one-eyed dorado, diving down hard at the very last second. Its sudden turn kicks up a massive wave that totally blocks everyone's vision. You quickly dart into the shadowy artificial plants, letting your bright scales fade completely dark. You actually feel those 6 terrifying whiskers sweep right across your dorsal fin. Absolute chills. After 3 minutes of intense, ultimate survival maneuvering, you finally make it back to Arapaima territory. You chew quietly, scanning the zone, and spot some fresh marks nearby. A few totally unknown scales glowing with a strange blue-green shimmer. Something new has arrived. You push your pressure senses to the absolute max, and right there in the filter's shadow, you catch a very weird water movement pattern. Something is moving in a crazy zigzag, wildly changing its speed. Suddenly, a sharp electric shock zaps your side. You dodge right on, pure instinct. A split second later, a glowing blue flash pulses exactly where you just floated. Through the cloudy water, you spot a slender, nearly invisible shape. A ghost knife fish, flickering with bright electricity. Your pupils shrink fast. When did that monster get dropped in the tank? You totally missed it. Even fish need a break sometimes. They must have dropped it in while you were resting. Disguising yourself as a piece of drifting wood, you ride the current and carefully study this mutant knife fish, realizing its attacks follow a completely clear pattern. After every shock, it needs exactly 2 minutes of stillness to recharge. You memorize this major weakness, also noticing a fresh wound on its weird belly. When moonlight hits the curtains, you start your regular nightly patrol. You scan the tank walls looking for snacks, but Jay seems totally determined to starve you out. You need a fresh food source. Your eyes lock onto the green algae coating the glass. You take a tiny bite. The nasty flavor makes you want to gag, but it actually helps calm that harsh, burning feeling deep in your empty stomach. Now, pay close attention here. You notice the mutant knife fish acts extremely terrified of that giant Arapaima. This discovery instantly changes your entire escape plan. Whenever that knife fish starts zapping around, hiding right next to the giant Arapaima is your safest bet. When morning light hits the tank, you find a shallow scratch on your tail fin. You got it while testing the enemy's attack range, but the info was totally worth it. Now, you know its maximum shock range is exactly 3 meters, and it definitely cannot attack continuously. You gently brush against the Arapaima's huge scales, finding comfort in the only safe spot left. Surviving is super tough, but every single day makes you so much stronger and smarter. Another day passes, bringing a heavy feeling. You are absolutely certain now. This ghost knife fish was put here specifically to eliminate you. It definitely knows better than attacking the larger predators. From the very beginning, had you completely locked in its sights. Your scales shiver slightly, sensing every tiny shift of electric current flowing through the water. Danger assessment is high. Survival odds down to 41%. The system warnings keep flashing. You and I know this fight is gonna be tough. You slowly sink down, pressing your belly against sand, covered in nasty waste and decaying scraps. That awful smell completely hides your own scent. You quickly spot a huge critical flaw in the enemy's attack pattern. Before every single zap, its spine flickers blue exactly 3 times, just like a loaded trigger. 2 meters right, a cleaner fish is eating algae. You watch the knife fish silently swim up, its spine blinking bright blue. Crack. A blinding blue flash rips right through the water. The cleaner fish goes completely dark and just floats belly up instantly. But what really spooks you is that shock was way stronger than yesterday. Is this thing evolving? Or just holding its power back? You quietly retreat toward Arapaima territory, but today the giant is extremely agitated. When you approach, it sharply turns its head, cold eyes locking onto you. Something feels wrong. You immediately stop. The massive creature that usually ignores you is now radiating pure hostility. You slowly back up, suddenly catching a weird chemical smell burning your gills. Water quality scan. Trace sedatives detected. He actually poisoned the tank water. Every scale on your body completely flares up. This explains the Arapaima's sudden anger. Jay is purposely dulling the other fish so that the knife fish can hunt totally uninterrupted. You dart quickly behind a cluster of fake plants, slipping into a decorative sandpit. Trust me, this gets crazy. Through the gaps, the entire tank starts shifting in terrifying ways. The piranha school is staggering. Those wolf fishes are slowing down. Even the snapping turtles look super sluggish. Let's dive in. The ghost knife fish is totally unaffected. Such a lunatic. This drug was literally meant for you. You force your body into a half-dormant state, slowing your heart rate and breathing to fight off this drug. Zap. A sharp electric crackle from the right. The ghost knife fish systematically clears out every single hiding spot. 3 minutes max until it finds you. But that sedative has totally weakened your muscles. Your usual escape moves are completely impossible now. What do? Then your eyes lock onto the heater rod. A wildly reckless idea suddenly forms. Pushing every bit of remaining strength, you extend your tail through the coral, gently stirring the current, guiding a withered water plant leaf right toward that heater rod. Thanks to the drug, the knife fish's judgment is totally clouded. Sure enough, a blue flash crackles out. The knife fish charges at the leaf, striking the heater rod with absolute precision. A muffled thud. The rod's fuse blows instantly. That backfiring current sends the ghost knife fish into absolute full-body convulsions. It floats belly up. Its spine flashes blue wildly, clearly super damaged. You do not waste this opening. Fighting the dizziness, you quickly swim toward the most concealed corner of the tank bottom. A hollow ceramic piece you found 2 days ago. Just as you are almost there, a violent surge of water hits. The Arapaima has drifted directly above you, its enormous body completely blocking your path. Those cold eyes glow like a true predator. Watch closely. You freeze. Not now, big guy. Predator in front, and the knife fish recovering behind. At this make or break instant, you notice a wire floating near the ceramic. The insulation worn away. That bare copper wire trembling faintly in the water. An even more insane idea quickly flashes through your mind. Using every last scrap of energy, you totally coil that wire with your tail fin, pushing it toward the still convulsing ghost knife fish. The second that copper wire touches its spine, crack, a blinding blue explosion rips through the water. The current surges through the entire tank. The Arapaima rolls away in pure pain. The wire acts like a lightning rod, channeling most of the electricity right into the metal tank frame. When everything settles, the ghost knife fish has sunk, its blue light barely flickering. You seize the moment and squeeze into the ceramic, every single scale shaking. Ding! Player constitution has officially reached its limit. Hidden mutation triggered. Hidden talent activated. Electric resistance level 1. You blink, then laugh silently in the dark. Your scales tingle everywhere. Residual electricity crawling across your skin like countless tiny needles. Through the ceramic cracks, you watch the ghost knife fish drifting in the water, its spine flickering so unevenly. Electric resistance integrating. Progress, 23%. I know what you're thinking. This new talent is completely rewriting your body. making you both sensitive and resistant to electricity. Creak. The studio door suddenly opens. Jay walks in with heavy, dark circles. Seeing the floating knife fish and scorched heater rod, his face goes totally iron gray. How? His voice carries through the water, the corner of his mouth twitching so involuntarily. You press deeper into the ceramic? Not yet. A faint electric buzz and a weak current pulse move through the water. It seems to have remembered your scent and is drifting stubbornly right in your direction. Warning. High-threat creature ghost knife fish entering range. When it drifts to a certain spot, you suddenly slam your tail against the inner wall of the ceramic. The dull vibration startles the arapaima. Its tail whips on reflex, and that surge of water bounces the heater rod back, pushing it directly toward the ghost knife fish. The knife fish discharges on pure instinct for defense. Crack. A second short circuit. The backlash current sends the knife fish sinking like a total rag. Surprisingly, when the residual current washes over you, the pain is noticeably weaker than before. Electric resistance integration, 51%. You finally ease out of hiding. The entire tank ecosystem has shifted. Those once fierce predators are cowering in corners. Opportunity knocks. Before the ache even fades, you quickly drift toward the back filter where food scraps have accumulated. On the way past the knife fish, you deliberately slow down, testing out your electric resistance. A weak blue flash fires, but the agony you expected never comes. It just feels like a mild, numbing breeze. Warning: contact with high-voltage electricity is extremely dangerous. The system quickly snaps you back. You swim quickly to the filter, absolutely devouring everything you can find. The feeling of fullness is unlike anything you have felt in days. You study the fading knife fish, a dangerous calculation flashing in your eyes. The wound on its belly has gone white with infection. It will not last 3 days. Maybe it can actually still be useful. You stir the water, pushing the knife fish toward the broken wire. That's where we leave it. You drive forward hard, ramming your head into its spine. Crack. One final burst. The ghost knife fish stops breathing completely, its lifeless body wedging right between the heater rod and wire. Now, for the final step. You clamp down on the knife fish's tail fin, dragging it straight toward the golden dorado's territory. Its corpse still holds a faint charge, just enough to repel the arapaima. Plus, this route perfectly glides through the water's total blind spot. You and I know the play here. Let one massive threat perfectly neutralize another. You drop the body right at the dorado's doorstep and dart back. Now, we wait. Wait for Jay to return and discover his golden dorado completely wrecked his prized ghost knife fish. So, what happens next? Hiding inside the ceramic, your hard-won meal settles, that gnawing hunger fading. Suddenly, the water surface churns with violent force. You peek sharply through the rocks. Jay kicks the door open, practically buzzing with wired energy. Guys, today I'm showing you something incredibly special. His voice sounds way too sharp. Drifting toward the glass, you spot him setting up 3 cameras. His face flushed with a seriously unhealthy excitement. Right at his feet sits a thermal case plastered with biohazard labels. Jay is going huge today. Run. Scar. Something bad is coming. You stare, every sense fully alert. The second Jay pops that lid, an abnormal electric pulse violently ripples through the water. 3 purebred Amazon black devil eels. Jay screams into the lens. 30,000 for these 3, each one professionally trained, totally conditioned to hunt one specific target. He opens it up. Inside, 3 pitch black creatures with jagged, serrated spine ridges along their dorsal fins swim in circles. Their spines flash blue and violet at random intervals. No way. Electric fish. Jay spent an absolute fortune. Chat goes absolutely wild. Now pay close attention as Jay grabs that specially insulated net. The second it leaves the water, it thrashes violently, energy crackling in the open air. You see that? 600 volts. Jay's face twists with pure hype. Specifically conditioned to discharge at only one target, he slowly lowers the eel. System alert. SS. Class threat species detected. Devil Electric Eel, Respiratory Mutant Strain. Attack method directed 600-volt discharge, plus serrated bone blade biting. Special training boosted targeting precision to plus 70%. Your chest completely tightens. For a split second, you almost consider giving up. But no, you want me out? Absolutely not happening. You notice the black devil eel moves with rigid discipline, maintaining exactly 3 meters from you, deliberately avoiding all other predators. Watch this closely, sweetie, Jay sneers, pulling out a remote control and smashing the red button. Crack. A blinding blue arc shoots forward like a striking snake. Pure reflex kicks in. You dive behind the arapaima. The current grazes your tail fin, blasting the bottom sand so hard it actually bubbles. Remote controlled? Jay went full tech mode. Come on, Jay, fight fair. Even you are totally caught off guard. Fine, let us see how long you can actually keep this up. Jay smirks, dropping the remaining 2 devil eels right into the tank. 3 electric beasts immediately form a flawless encirclement, discharging right at you with absolute precision. A wolfish accidentally drifts into their range. It goes instantly rigid, floating, belly up. Friendly fire. Jay just zapped his own fish. Jay's smug face completely drops. He frantically adjusts that remote, cursing under his breath, begging the system to aim properly. You seize that pure chaos, darting toward the heater rod, right as another black devil eel discharges its power. You slam your tail hard against it, instantly channeling the wild current along the metal rod. Crack. An epic electric arc ignites. The backfiring current sends all 3 eels into simultaneous convulsions. You and I both cheered. Scar used their power against them. Jay's face turns totally green. Ha! Can a carp actually pull that off? Impossible. This is physically impossible. Jay frantically hammers the remote, but those devil eels have temporarily lost all mobility. The livestream chat absolutely detonates. Streamers high-tech fish getting wrecked by a single carp? Bro, recommend switching to koi farming. Jay's hands are visibly shaking with pure fury. He spins around, grabbing a small bottle from the cabinet clearly labeled strictly forbidden. You are totally forcing my hand. He quickly draws a few milliliters of clear liquid into a syringe, letting it slowly drip right into the water. A specially developed fish stimulant designed exclusively for those black devil eels. Jay just cannot handle losing. You sense the shift instantly. Those 3 black devil eels completely stop convulsing. Their gill covers start pumping incredibly fast. That electric glow shifts from pale blue to a blazing white violet. Discharge frequency drops from every 5 seconds to under 2. Crack, crack. 2 arcs fire almost simultaneously. You barely manage to dodge the first, but that second strike grazes your dorsal fin. Pain surges through you, but wait, you are stunned. The damage is way less than expected. Electric resistance experience plus 15%. Current. Electric resistance fully integrated. No time to celebrate. Trust me, you and I are about to see something much worse. The drug-stimulated black devil eels lose absolute control, firing their energy everywhere indiscriminately. Stick with me. 1 arc hits the silver arowana worth tens of thousands, launching it out of the water. No, stop. Jay lunges toward the tank in total panic, slamming his hands against the glass. 3,000 live viewers go speechless. Then the chat completely explodes. He totally overplayed it. Ha, ha. Jay's entire fish collection is getting wrecked. No way, that has to hurt. Hurry and save them. Crack. Electric currents erupt through the water in every direction. The black devil eels thrash wildly through the aquarium in a frenzy. The entire tank is nearing complete and total chaos. You scramble to dodge, but space is highly limited. There is nowhere to escape the wild attacks. This confirms it. This thing definitely used some sneaky, high-tech trick. Before long, every single fish inside the predator tank gets totally zapped. Jay completely loses his mind, screaming loudly for help, totally desperate to pull those black devil eels out of the water. But you quickly notice their shocks are getting weaker. They are burning out. This is the opening. Now pay attention here. If you do not stop them before total panic sets in, you are finished. But suddenly, you finally spot the perfect gap. You easily read the subtle water currents perfectly. Draw a deep breath and think. With your electric resistance and tough constitution, you should easily take it. Probably. No time to second guess yourself now. A loud crack echoes. Blinding electric light completely engulfs you. Every single viewer simply watches as this brave carp charges straight ahead, driving fiercely through the blue electricity head-on. And even more shocking, of that electricity gets channeled right through you into the surrounding water. You ride the electric thrust at impossible speeds, slamming your head directly into the most vulnerable spot on a black devil eel, its sensitive gill. The runaway attacker helplessly spins around like a broken kite and quickly sinks to the bottom. The chat goes totally feral. Is that allowed? Scar is actually cheating. No way. Cultivating an undying lightning body right behind the glass. Meanwhile, Jay has completely unraveled into a mess. He wildly fumbles with the net, trying to scoop the eels, and accidentally touches his own tricky device. He gets zapped hard enough to yelp. The remote drops straight into the tank. Stream of the year. The streamer gets totally schooled by his own fish. Gifts flood the chat. Inside, you do not pause for a second. Strike while they are down. You push hard against the currents, cutting through the fading electricity, and quickly knock over the remaining eels one by one. At the exact same time, the other heavy predators slowly recover their senses, and pure hunger fills their eager eyes. The alligator gar moves first, flat jaws snapping viciously. A bright crimson mist blooms through the swirling water. Then the piranhas and the massive Goliath catfish surge in all at once, totally wrecking the remaining eels on the spot. Even the sneaky snapping turtle in the corner extends its head to grab a quick bite. Crash! A massive wave erupts inside the aquarium. The giant arapaima descends like a titan. Its movement is way too fast to track. Just a dark surge of water, and half an eel carcass vanishes. When the last black devil eel finally floats belly up, you and I watch the entire livestream absolutely explode into hype. Jay collapses on the floor, staring at the devastated tank with entirely hollow eyes. His precious silver arowana lost half its shiny scales to the electricity. The red-tail catfish simply shivers in the corner. If he knew it would come to this disaster, he never would have put those things in. Not for anything. These cool fish were his ultimate treasures. Jay is truly heartbroken. The fierce battle scent in the tank hasn't cleared yet. You float quietly near the filter outlet, letting the cool current soothe you. Your enhanced hearing picks up every sound inside the studio. Jay, breathing heavily, his phone buzzing, the hum of the air conditioner. The chat is still going crazy. No way. Scar actually completely finished off the black devil eels. This is no ordinary carp. This is a god of war. Jay looks sick. Huh? Jay sits frozen like a mannequin. His eyes move from the defeated fish to the wounded ones, finally stopping. His lips tremble weakly. Not a single word escapes his mouth. Then, he reaches right over and turns off the stream. The studio goes totally silent. You watch his every move, highly alert. Jay slowly gets up, drifts unsteadily toward the fancy feed cabinet, and picks up a premium koi food he has never opened before. You must be super hungry. His sad voice is barely a whisper. He tears the seal with shaking hands, scoops out a solid measure, then stops abruptly before he can feed you. The sudden stop triggers your instincts. You instantly retreat, tail fanning into a defensive posture. Sorry, I'm not. Jay pulls his hand back as if painfully burned. His eyes go red. He slowly sinks down and gently sprinkles the food in a spot far away from the others. You notice this man, who was ridiculously arrogant just days ago, now moves with the surprising gentleness of someone having a complete change of heart. Every defense in you is still up, every muscle coiled tight. But the smell of that premium food is simply hard to resist. You creep forward carefully, ready to bolt instantly. So, what do you and I make of this? Jay just kneels quietly, watching you finally eat. You dart away at a tiny noise, and his shoulders visibly slump right down. Just eat, he sighs. Scar, I'm officially done fighting you. Honestly, those words make you relax a bit. Stick with me here, hiding behind that driftwood. This famous streamer looks like an absolute stranger to us now. He gently treats the silver arowana's wounded scales with a swab, carefully handling it like a fragile, precious newborn. As the room darkens, he skips the stream. Instead, he pulls up a chair right by the tank, opens up his phone, and quietly scrolls through recordings of his old chaotic broadcasts. The old footage shows him angrily screaming at the camera to eliminate you. He stops the video suddenly. A bitter, self-mocking laugh escapes. His shoulders tremble. Light catches something wet between his fingers. You are genuinely shocked that this guy, who seemed completely invincible, is now weeping in front of the tank. Late into the night, he finally stands up and taps the glass lightly. No aggressive slam this time, just 3 soft knocks, like tapping on a door. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Once the studio door shuts completely, you finally let your guard down. You float toward the surface and quietly nibble at the remaining bits of food. What exactly was that? A total ceasefire? You genuinely feel so confused now. Now pay attention here. Since arriving, every single day was pure chaos. What do all those terrifying close calls even mean to us now? You blow out some bubbles and brush it off. Staying alive is everything. This is absolutely the first time you can finally rest without constant fear. In the quiet haze of drifting off, you almost feel like you are back in your human life, long before you ever became a fish. Click. The soft sound of the door jolts you awake. Dawn is just breaking. Jay is already tiptoeing inside with heavy, dark circles, but he is holding 2 completely brand new pieces of aquarium gear. Morning, he murmurs, sounding hoarse, but surprisingly gentle. He carefully installs a new UV sterilizer light, clearly worried about disturbing you. Water purification detected. Harmful bacteria reduced by 40%. The sudden system chime draws you over. Jay immediately pauses his work, pulling a sealed little bag from his pocket. Fresh, sweet corn kernels. You must be starving after everything, he says quietly, slowly scattering them into the water. That sweet smell hits your sharp senses almost instantly. You swim toward it cautiously. Notice how he immediately steps back 2 paces and literally holds his breath. Whatever, food is food. You draw the kernels in one by one, and honestly, this tastes way better than raw fish or boring pellets. Seeing you finally eat, Jay breathes a huge sigh. The corner of his mouth lifts up completely involuntarily. When the sun rises, Jay starts up the stream. The guy on camera looks totally different than before. Hair perfectly combed, clean shirt. Good morning, guys. Today, we are taking it easy. The chat erupts. Jay is totally possessed. His calm voice is terrifying. Is Scar okay? Show us Scar. Jay does not respond to the crazy chat directly. Instead, he speaks quietly. I did some serious thinking yesterday. Keeping fish should not be like this. He points at the wounded arowana. Just look what I did. He pauses. Something in his voice has really changed. Now, I finally get it. I respect it. Surviving this brutal tank is this carp's true ability. I am completely done interfering. However long it lives is its own incredible achievement. The chat goes totally silent for seconds, then floods. I am crying, legitimately crying. This is the streamer I subscribed for. Jay grew up. As your silhouette glides past the camera, a warm, faint smile naturally curls at the corners of his lips. You heard him, right? We both know it is complicated, but ultimately, this wild world still runs on the exact same rule. The strong devour the weak. You swish your tail, smoothly gliding in front of the lens, meeting the amazed eyes of everyone in the chat. That carp is absolutely stunning. Just look at those scales, the crazy shine. Massive gifts flood the stream. That very afternoon, Jay does something that completely shocks every single viewer. He unplugs every cable and device from the tank. Looking straight into the camera, he sincerely announces, from today on, this tank runs strictly on a pure natural ecology. As for Scar, I am done interfering. If it survives for decades, I will keep it for decades. Chat declares Jay is totally reborn. As night drops, Jay stays an extra hour staring at the big tank. He gives every single fish a proper name. Getting to you, he just smiles. You are Scar. That is what all the viewers call you anyway. Suddenly, a murky current kicks up sand in the tank. You flick your tail extremely fast. Your newly enhanced lateral line instantly reads the shifting pressure. 3 meters away, a vicious piranha school is forming an encirclement. Daily survival reward muscle burst power, plus 3%. The system suddenly chimes, and you instantly shoot right into a rock crevice. 3% is tiny, but it literally just saved your entire life. The massive Arapaima shadow sweeps overhead, temporarily scattering those hungry predators. Trust me, we survived. You push toward safer water, your gills pumping super fast. Stick with me here, because even with the big guy protecting him, every meal is extreme risk. Jay stopped targeting him, but you and I know this Amazon predator tank is still packed with apex hunters. Less human interference just means pure wild survival rules. He is still way too small and physically fragile. One wrong move means game over. Splash! The surface ripples. Jay scatters corn kernels, dropping them far from where the main hunters group up. He waits till the other fish are completely distracted by live bait before carefully swimming up. He gulps 3 kernels fast and retreats instantly. Every extra second out there is a massive risk. System check. Protein levels are critically low. The system warning pulls his gaze right behind the filter, where a bunch of leftover shrimp meat sits. But 3 wolfish patrol that spot. The exact window is 2.3 seconds. Thud. Suddenly, the giant Arapaima slaps the water, scattering the wolfish. He absolutely does not waste this perfect opening. He shoots forward, grabs the biggest piece of shrimp, taking under 1.5 seconds. But, oh no, the huge Florida snapping turtle saw him. That ancient hunter, shell covered in green algae, slowly turns his way. Those murky eyes lock right on. Time for the emergency plan. Crazy circles around the heater rod. The turtle has insane burst speed, but turning is totally its biggest flaw. After 3 massive sharp turns, it smashes right into the glass wall, and our boy is safely back under the Arapaima. After dark, danger spikes. The nocturnal electric eels start to hunt. He floats super quietly under the Arapaima, scales shifting, soaking up the tiny electric currents, leaking into the tank water. Now pay attention. At dawn, everything suddenly flips upside down. The piranha school completely loses their minds, biting into a decaying fin covered in leftover medication powder that Jay totally spilled by accident while cleaning the filter yesterday. Some weird stimulant is spreading super fast. Oh, no. He braces himself hard. Seriously, why is his luck always this terrible? Suddenly, the giant Arapaima snaps its head up. Its silver scales flare completely open, massive danger warning. He naturally dashes toward his chosen safe spot, the tiny gap between the heater and glass. Boom! A huge red-tailed catfish slams hard, shaking the whole tank. The crazy piranhas attack every single thing moving. Crimson mist fills the water instantly. Crack! An electric eel fires off completely without warning, slicing through the chaos, but hitting the Arapaima too. It thrashes in serious pain, crushing the decorative coral. His safe spot totally collapses. 3 totally wild golden dorados charge straight at him. Are you kidding me right now? Zero time to think. He leans into the water current, using that electric boost to push maximum speed toward the filter intake. That tiny 10-centimeter gap is his only escape. The metal burns against his scales, but he ignores the pain completely. From inside, he watches the pure chaos unfold. The heavy snapping turtle chomps the electric eel hard. The Arapaima launches a dorado across the entire tank. Meanwhile, Jay is slamming his hands against the glass, totally panicking. Finally, after a long time, the madness stops. He slips out of the tube and sees 2 fallen piranhas. That electric eel is split in 2, and the big Arapaima is missing a huge chunk of its tail. The survivors go totally still again, almost like the wild madness never happened. Jay crouches by the glass, scooping out a fallen wolfish worth 28,000. His mouth twitches hard. He mutters a curse and tosses the expensive fish away. The chat spams calm emojis. You saw that too, right? Jay suddenly bursts out laughing. Guys, honestly, I should have totally gotten used to this by now. He turns around and grabs 3 mysterious sealed bags from the fridge. Look what I brought. New contenders, ready and waiting. Inside those bags are 3 creepy creatures he has absolutely never seen before. The first is pitch black, with absolutely no eyes, moving purely by electromagnetic fields. An African blind spiny eel. Next, an Indonesian fire scorpion fish, totally covered in toxic spines. Plus, a deep-sea fluorescent weaselfish that actually drops hallucinogenic slime. Scar is totally finished. Where did Jaden find these things? Didn't he say he was done targeting carp? But he never said he would stop dropping in predators. Everyone wants to see this, right? Jay eagerly rubs his hands together, then pulls a massive container out from behind him. Just kidding, guys. The real ultimate ace is inside here. Inside that thermal box, it's a terrifying creature that stops every single comment entirely. A body shaped just like a snake, scales like a crocodile, a catfish head, and 2 bulging red eyes, glowing like danger sirens. The Venezuelan vampire eel. Jay's voice cracks with pure excitement. Scientists officially call it the Dracula eel. It can completely drain a living target down to an empty shell. He taps the new equipment. Do not worry, this monster only hunts targets under 30 centimeters. It will definitely not touch my huge treasures. That's where we leave it. That sentence crushes him completely. If he could actually speak, his words would definitely not be polite. Let's dive in. Jay narrows his eyes, catching your reaction. This carp knows exactly what is coming. The second that vampire eel hits the water, every single fish absolutely freezes. It floats just like a lifeless branch, except for those creepy eyes locking straight onto your soul. System warning. SS class threat detected. Vampire eel, Hemagobius dragon. Your player survival rate, barely 19%. The system alarm blasts in your head. Before Jay can finish speaking, the vampire eel launches forward with insane speed, clamping straight onto the barbed loach. What happens next makes the stream totally silent. The eel unfolds its jaws, revealing 7 gnarly rows of hooked teeth, biting straight through the poor loach gill cover. In exactly 10 seconds, a lively fish turns completely hollow. Absolute madness. Jay drops his notebook on the floor. The vampire eel lets go of its catch, slowly turning toward the camera lens outside the tank. Its jaw still drips with dark red traces of its meal. Those glowing red eyes shimmer with total satisfaction, practically asking everyone, who is next? Jay stares blankly at the hollow shell floating on the surface. But you already know, this nightmare is not over. Sure enough, 1 second later, Jay slams his desk and forces a totally unhinged grin. Relax, everyone. We are just getting started. Jay is completely crazy, but he never runs out of fish. He yells at the camera. Watch closely because we are seeing something real. This is a true Amazon apex predator. He spins around and walks away. Then, heavy stomping footsteps approach. Jay and some huge guys carry a massive water tank, dropping it onto the floor with a crash. He violently rips the lid off, thrilled. Instantly, every single scale on your body stands up. Inside that box are 3 dark brown creatures, torpedo-shaped bodies, backs lined with serrated bone plates, and those eyes, completely clear, just like glass beads set into their skulls, holding absolutely zero emotion. Giant crocodile, hatchetfish. Even Jay sounds different now. The locals call them meat grinders. He lifts one up with forceps, and the monster snaps its jaws wide. 4 massive fangs, over 3 centimeters each, fully exposed in the air. You see the tiny barbs on those tips, teeth sharper than knives, ready to skewer carps. The stream chat completely floods, but you cannot even read it. Every single word Jay says drives straight into your mind like an ice pick. You have 10,000 things to scream, but they all circle back to one fact. You are trying to survive this. System. Species analysis starts. Giant crocodile hatchetfish. Attack style, high speed charge, plus serious puncture and tearing. They specialize in targeting eyes and gills. System alarms erupt in your head like massive explosions, sharp enough to literally tear right through your entire consciousness. Right then, the first hatchetfish hits the water. The whole tank freezes like someone hit pause. Every single fish goes totally still. Even the tough Florida snapping turtle hides straight in its shell. The hunter hovers perfectly, transparent eyes, rotating with scary precision, scanning absolutely every single corner like radar. You and I both know the worst part, right? Jay taps the glass, and suddenly, that hatchetfish becomes an instant black blur. Fangs scrape the glass with an ear-splitting shriek. 30 kilometers per hour. Sprint. The absolute Ferrari of freshwater fish. The second hatchetfish is even bigger. The second it enters the tank, those glass eyes lock onto the arapaima, still recovering from old injuries. Your giant protector, for the very first time, actually shows pure exhaustion. Its massive body actually begins to slowly back away. Watch very carefully, everyone. Jay adjusts the camera with trembling excitement. The third one is a wild-caught giant, 58 centimeters. His words suddenly stop, because the second that third hatchetfish hits the water, something happens that sends absolute ice through every single inch of you. The three hunters begin coordinating with each other. They circle slowly, keeping you directly in the center, forming a perfectly tight encirclement. Their dorsal fins pulse in rhythm, like they are speaking some secret coded language. 3-unit tactical formation, from fish. These guys are like pack wolves. Scar, run. Even Jay looks completely shocked. This was never expected. Your entire body turns freezing cold. System alerts. Encirclement formation 92% complete. Calculating survival probability. Even the arapaima is super rattled, circling aimlessly. The ring keeps tightening. You study their precise positioning. It is surgically precise. No matter which direction you break, two of them will charge you simultaneously. Then, the left hatchetfish snaps its dorsal fin hard. Instantly, both fish on the right lunge forward at the exact same time, jaws wide. In this extreme survival moment, you dive hard downward. Your enhanced muscles unleash a massive explosive burst, letting you safely thread through the gap between both sets of huge fangs by the thinnest margin. But the third monster was waiting all along, charging straight ahead like a cannonball. A loud sound like metal clashing rings out, and intense tearing pain rips across your flank. The hatchetfish fang violently rakes across your scales. The massive wound behind shows white. Those teeth strike like blades, but scales hold. Trust me, our hunt just began. You gasp. The fresh injury from your wound immediately excites all three creatures. Their eyes start filling with crimson. Pheromone release detected. Stick with me. You and I need to break their formation really fast. In that razor-sharp moment, a brilliant flash. No matter how coordinated, these are still animals. And animals have greed. You suddenly reverse direction hard. Not retreating, but charging right toward the danger zone. One massive tail strike, and every shrimp scrap settled on the tank floor. Clouds up into the water. Carp is surrendering. Final meal before the end. The next second, an absolutely jaw-dropping moment arrives. All three hatchetfish abandon the chase, completely drawn by scattered shrimp. They eagerly want the food, but they refuse to let you escape either. They actually start snapping at each other. Then, the smallest one cannot hold back anymore. It spins and directly bites the nearest teammate's dorsal fin. Boom! Jay lets out a shocked cry. Carp is literally a master psychologist. That brain surpasses a fish. You don't waste a second. You instantly shoot toward the strongest current near the heater rod. But the largest hatchetfish, the alpha, shakes off the distraction fast, transforming into a crimson streak, charging straight at you. Its fangs aim straight for your eye. Now watch this closely. A silver-gray wall slams down in front of you. The arapaima throws its massive body right between you and the strike. The hatchetfish's fang drives extremely deep into its tail fin. Getting securely locked there by those thick scales, you completely freeze. You're such an incredible partner. The perfect opportunity has arrived. Now's the time. You pour literally everything you possess into a full-speed ram against the trapped hatchetfish, driving it directly into the scalding heater rod. Crack. It furiously thrashes wildly. When it finally breaks totally free, it has lost all balance, and the snapping turtle, perfectly waiting, bites down on its head. The two remaining hatchetfish witness this and actually just stop attacking. They slowly retreat toward the corner of the tank. Something new appears in those glass-bead eyes. Actual fear. The fight is over. Jay is completely stunned. All 4,000 viewers are stunned. The chat goes silent for 2 seconds, then fully detonates. Carp, you absolute legend. I am literally screaming. Unreal. Who still thinks carp is a normal fish? You swim to the arapaimia's side and gaze at its injured tail fin. Something deeply complicated moves right through you. You only meant to find a shield, to use this big dumb creature for cover. But when did it start treating you like a true friend? Jay slowly crouches in front of the tank, fingers lightly tapping the glass, eyes darting back and forth between you and the two hatchetfish trembling in the corner. Then he grins. You and I know that smile means trouble. Guys, I just realized something. Don't say it. I'm terrified. When Jay smiles like that, nothing is safe. His tone suddenly shifts. Look at this massive size, this scale coloring, and importantly, the insane genetics of something that not only survives this environment, but keeps getting stronger. He slaps his knee hard. I am finding carp a mate to breed the next generation of super carp. You nearly choke on water? Are you completely serious? You are managing my love life now? Do you even have a partner yourself? You are just a fish on the outside, but your soul is entirely human. A tank full of female carp? Absolutely no. Jay laughs awkwardly, putting down the net he just picked up. Then he suddenly raises a small underwater endoscope camera. Let's be scientific about this. The black probe eases down into the water, and every single scale on your body stands on end. You quickly bolt behind the driftwood and stare intensely at the approaching lens. Don't be shy, carp. The arapaima gives a sudden tail flick, and a massive wave sends the camera flying straight into the turtle. The stream is instantly filled with an extremely hilarious close-up of turtle nostrils. Hilarious. Turtle, have some basic manners. Jay pulls the camera equipment back with a defeated look. Fine, fine, fine. He opens fish photos on his computer, and his mouse firmly stops on one image. This one. German mirror carp. Fewer scales. Super strong disease resistance. Perfectly matched. Reject this arranged marriage. Carp deserves free choice. You guys really don't understand romance. Jay has completely disappeared into his own fantasy. Just imagine, if this crazy breeding actually works, the offspring would be born with battle experience already. You watch Jay drag a dust-covered incubation tank out from the corner. A terrifying chill shoots from your tail fin straight to the top of your skull. A German mirror carp. Absolute bastard. That's the one. Jay slaps his leg and starts calling the seller immediately. No way. Relying on this impulsive streamer to stop himself is clearly not happening. You circle twice in agitation, quickly scanning the tank's equipment. Heater rod, filter, ultraviolet sterilizer. A sudden flash. The streamer cares most about his precious data readings. So what do we do? If the data breaks, he abandons the breeding plans entirely. Right. That is absolutely the move. You fully fixate on one target, the heater rod. You search the tank floor, finding a sharp piece of coral that was knocked loose earlier. The master plan locks in instantly. You carefully pick up the fragment in your mouth, smoothly slip past every fish's line of sight, and drift quietly toward the heater rod. Come watch this with me. Jay is still rambling about his future carp dynasty. Warning. Body surface temperature is rising. Faint electric pulse detected. That is the vampire. It is super close. Your heart hammers, but no speeding up. Your tail flicks perfectly before touching the scalding heater rod. Click. The coral piece rides the water current and wedges perfectly right into the gap between the heater and metal bracket. Done. You shoot straight back to the arapaima, acting super casual like nothing even happened. Heart absolutely pounding. Now, you simply wait for that tiny chaos to work. But life is totally unpredictable. All right, everyone. Jay suddenly jumps up to his feet. Great news. I just reached a Czech Republic breeder. Reserved their most beautiful German mirror. Carp, air freight. Arrives next week. Wait, what? You feel it like a massive lightning strike. You almost lose your balance. Czech Republic. Air freight. Next week. Your little sabotage plan needs way more time to work, but the bride is already flying over. Minor environmental factor shift detected. Player action triggered an unknown chain reaction. Please proceed with caution. The system chime rings out, cold, flat, almost mocking you. Staring at the active heater rod, you then glance over at the terrifying vampire eel, slowly opening its eyes. Glowing red, just like underwater searchlights. Something suddenly becomes super clear. Gentle resistance just will not cut it here. To survive and escape this forced fate, the only real answer is making the water so incredibly murky that nobody sees clearly. You look back at the quietly radiating heater rod, then glance over at that terrifying vampire eel hiding. The beast just finished its snack and is now lazily digesting everything. Now pay very close attention. Those glowing red eyes radiate pure, ultimate danger. Soft moves will not work anymore. The only way forward is making this water absolutely turbid. So incredibly muddy that this annoying streamer has zero mental energy left to even consider any future breeding plans. Meanwhile, Jay sits there happily holding his phone, enthusiastically sharing everything with his live stream viewers. Guys, I am telling you, my overseas contact just sent photos of the fish. Perfect build, shining bright scales, and a super gentle temperament. It is absolutely worthy. He holds the gorgeous German mirror carp photo right up to the camera. Under professional lighting, this fish is undeniably stunning to see. Look at this belly. It is totally built for spawning. Jay enthusiastically points with a massive grin. We will set up a perfect little love nest for them. A real breeding room. Lots of water plants. Temperature raised a few degrees. What exactly should the fry eat first? Jay, are you serious right now? Carp is not even fully grown. I seriously feel like Carp is panicking. It honestly looks like trembling. Fish do not tremble. Look, Carp keeps pressing near the giant arapaima. You and I totally noticed it, right? The livestream chat senses the panic, and they are completely right. You feel anxious. You press against the massive arapaima, but those cold scales simply cannot settle the loud noise spinning inside your head. You have to do something right now. Your eyes quickly sweep the entire tank. The vampire eel just fed. It will not want to move yet. The two remaining hatchet fish are still completely huddled in the corner. Snapping turtle is shaken. Wait. Your eyes completely lock onto the two surviving hatchet fish. These guys were totally humiliated just moments ago by you and the giant arapaima together. Their furious hearts must be burning with it. If you can simply provoke them into attacking that bigger, drowsy vampire eel. The second this thought surfaces, it spreads through your brain like exploding wild water plants. The risk is completely enormous, but so is the reward. If two apex predators violently clash, the wild chaos that follows will absolutely overwhelm Jay entirely. You take a deep breath. Then comes a hard tail whip, generating a super strong undercurrent while your fin perfectly catches a few grains of sand and plant fragments, riding the fast water current straight into the driftwood shadows. The fast move stays completely hidden inside the chaotic tank, but for the silently resting vampire eel, this sudden, wild disturbance reads as a very direct battle challenge. Those half-closed red eyes snap wide open, blazing with pure fury from being interrupted. Almost simultaneously, the two hatchet fish notice the wild commotion. Seeing the drifting debris, they register the angry vampire eel reaction and completely misread the signal. The battle left them hypersensitive. The larger hatchet fish dorsal fin snaps upright. It launches like a speeding arrow, cutting through water with a sharp hiss, driving straight toward the vampire eel as it lifts its angry head. Jay sees his fantasy evaporate instantly. A terrifying grinding, tearing sound fills the entire tank. The hatchet fish fang leaves a pale scratch right across the slick eel. That is all it takes. The creature strikes back at an impossible angle. Trust me, you and I definitely want to witness this absolute chaotic battle unfold right now. The second hatchetfish sees its partner charge and immediately flanks from the side. You and I are watching the tank turn into pure chaos. Vampire eel versus two giant crocodile hatchetfish. Three apex predators just tear into each other, rolling, crashing, water exploding everywhere, with torn scales drifting all through the tank. The massive driftwood gets smashed aside. Bottom sand stirs into a massive, murky storm. Stop. Stop. Everyone just stop right now. Jay completely loses his mind. He drops his phone, sprints to the glass, and tries to separate them with a net. But seeing those three creatures in an absolute combat frenzy inside, he just cannot reach in. The stream chat absolutely detonates. No. Vampire eel versus hatchetfish. Jay, move. Your fish are getting wrecked out there. Turn off the lights. Try hitting the lights. I seriously feel like the carp caused this. Didn't it just flick its tail? No way. Carp is way too kind to start wars. Inside the tank, you press right up against the arapaima, feeling the violent shockwaves and churning water from high above. Your heart just hammers, not from fear, but pure exhilaration and extreme tension. It is working. Is the water murky enough yet? You watch Jay flailing helplessly, the three predators tearing each other apart. The whole German mirror carp breeding plan. Who has room for that now? Warning. Tank ecosystem severely disrupted. Hostile creature. Conflict escalating fast. Unknown risks rising sharply. The system fires off again. But this time, you hear something like pure relief underneath. It. Survive first. Now pay close attention here, because right at the center, this battle hits absolute maximum intensity. The vampire eel is just impossibly slick, constantly twisting to deflect the hatchetfish's frontal charges. But these two display truly remarkable coordination. One drives the main attack, the other circles for a clear opening. Slice. One hatchetfish finds the gap, accelerates hard, and its razor fangs rake right across the vampire eel. A few slime-coated fragments drift down. The pain fully triggers the eel's true nature. It snaps open the hidden mouth organ totally concealed beneath its folded skin. Its edges are lined with dense, razor-sharp barbed hooks, like a flower blooming from the underworld. It lunges at lightning speed toward the attacking hatchetfish. The hatchetfish twists away hard, but a fraction too slow. The vampire eel's organ drags across its flank, leaving a clean row of red marks. Thud. The second hatchetfish seizes the moment and drives right into the vampire eel. Three creatures spinning like high-speed tops, churning the tank into boiling mud. Stop. Everyone stop. Jay is sweating hard, the hand holding the net shaking, able to do nothing but roar out helplessly. Then, he finally remembers the studio lights. He lunges for the wall switch like a desperate man grabbing a rope. Click. The overhead light completely cuts out. The studio holds nothing but the screen's faint glow. The tank plunges into darkness. The crashes and biting sounds stop completely. The world feels like it's been totally paused. In the dark, there's nothing but the pump's hum and the solid beat of your own heart. You strain your eyes open wide, but there is only a blur of faint glow. Have those three actually stopped, or is this just the stillness before the next storm? You and I know it's murky, but what comes next? You press close to the arapaima, feeling for the very first time that this tank's water runs deeper than you ever imagined, and much colder. You might have pushed this way too far. The entire tank is unnervingly silent. The absolute quiet before a storm. System, just draw today's survival reward first. Things have come this far already. All you can do is roll the dice. Ding. Drawing today's daily survival reward. Ding. Congratulations. Natural fish affinity obtained. Level 1. The system chimes and you just blink. Natural fish affinity. What in the world is that even good for? Then something shifts. In the absolute darkness, you can sense the creatures around you more clearly than ever. Not just through sight or your lateral line, but something more like a true emotional connection. You feel the Arapaimia's stillness, and beneath it, a faint but totally unmistakable protectiveness directed at you. The sensation is strange, like invisible threads spreading straight through the water. Without thinking, you press your head gently against the Arapaimia's belly. A deep calm you have never felt before rises inside you. And then, click, the overhead light comes back on. The sudden brightness makes every single fish flinch. Jay stands in front of the tank, face iron gray. The water is still murky and totally unsettled. The two hatchetfish have retreated to opposite corners, their bodies marked with highly visible wounds. The vampire eel has pulled far back into the sunken shadow of the driftwood, curled in on itself. Only those piercing red eyes, still flickering with cold malice. Jay looks at the heavy devastation inside the tank, too angry to form words. Jay, time to clean up the mess. Jay must be heartbroken. Was Carp scared? Look, Carp has been hiding behind the Arapaima this whole time. So smart. Jay picks up his net and starts clearing out the debris. Trust me, we know he has zero mental space left for German mirror carp right now. Stick with me here. We are testing your new skill. Natural Fish Affinity Level 1. If true, this ability is just absolutely extraordinary. You sense who feels hostile and can actually lower their anger. Quietly, you sweep your eyes across all the other residents inside this tank. A huge golden dorado floats right in the middle water. Down below, Elypterus lies completely flat, looking exactly like a living fossil. You activate that wild new affinity, focusing on the golden dorado. You send it one single wordless message, I mean you zero harm. The dorado cautiously watched Jay and his net, but it totally feels your attention now. It slowly turns its head toward you. Usually, direct eye contact like this triggers an instant fight, but this time, it just stares for a few seconds, drops the threatening pose entirely, and then slowly swims away without any drama. Something is happening here. Pure, thrilling excitement. You shift focus to the Polypterus, projecting total peace and chill vibes. Its tiny little eyes seem to blink once, then it goes right back to acting like a rock. Okay, that guy is just naturally clueless, and that is totally fine. This is still a massive win. You drift back toward the Arapaima. Its huge body shifts slightly, pulling you into a safe spot, while its giant tail fin makes a slow, powerful sweep of the surrounding water. A totally wordless claim. This fish is my buddy. An invisible, fragile little alliance is actually starting to form. You glance over at that creepy vampire eel hiding away. You cannot count on those two guys right now. That snapping turtle stays completely motionless. But hey, whatever works. You swish your tail. For the first time in this crazy, dangerous tank, you actually feel totally in control. Forget about that German mirror carp for now. You just give the panicking human Jay one epic sideways glance. Deal with your own mess first. Then you face the Arapaima. From now on, I am sticking with you. You brush against it, feeling brand new confidence in your chest that was never there before. Pay attention here. Things get crazy. Understanding this affinity makes your mind race. If you gain these predators' trust, you can actually recruit them. Right now, the biggest threat inside this tank is the vampire. Fast, sneaky, super dangerous. It must go down. But you and the Arapaima alone cannot defeat something moving like a muddy shadow. You desperately need more allies. You lock eyes on the golden dorado again, transmitting something super specific this time. Teamwork against a shared threat. You ease slowly forward, swimming slightly closer toward the dorado, turning sideways to expose your unscarred side, proving you mean no harm at all. Meanwhile, you pulse that awesome affinity over and over, pushing one clear message. That vampire eel is dangerous. Let us fight it together. Soon, you feel the golden dorado's emotions starting to change. Its pure caution turns into total confusion and then genuine consideration. It does not try to attack you. That alone is an epic start. The golden dorado slowly adjusts its angle. It faces the exact driftwood where the vampire eel hides away. That movement proves it. Got your signal. A massive wave of pure joy hits. Keep going. You fan your tail, gently pushing floating leaves toward the driftwood, guiding your team and giving that sneaky eel one extra little mocking tease. The golden Dorado totally understands your brilliant plan. Its golden body arcs in a smooth, elegant curve, taking a wide path toward the driftwood from the opposite side. Those lazy catfishes and polypterus, you dismiss them with a quick thought. Getting the Dorado on board was incredibly tough. You charge again, heading straight for the driftwood, matching the Dorado perfectly. You feel its fighting spirit sharpen. Jay carefully scoops trash with his net, complaining to the viewers, "I am so exhausted today." Seriously, stop your annoying whining right now, Jay. Go check your carp. Is it causing more chaos? Look, guys, are the carp and golden Dorado seriously forming a fish alliance? You and I both know fish never team up. But wait, look where they are swimming. They are charging the vampire eel. The wild chat makes Jay glance up, and his hand freezes. Right there, the scarred carp is swimming in perfect sync with the golden Dorado. Both are pushing forward with total confidence toward that dangerous driftwood. Even crazier, the giant arapaima is right behind them. Its massive body glides forward, giving them epic backup cover. These three fish, who normally fight or ignore everyone, are suddenly moving together as one elite squad. Jay drops his jaw in pure shock. The net clatters into the tank. That loud splash startles the vampire eel hiding inside. Its slender body snaps tight. Those creepy red eyes lock straight onto you and the approaching Dorado. The second that eel reacts, you and your golden buddy accelerate together. You take point, moving super fast, drawing its gaze, baiting the monster away from its safe driftwood spot. The Dorado flanks around the side, its body launching like a golden arrow at insane speed, completely cutting off every single possible escape route. What a rush. You and I love this epic carp. Stick with me. This carp is actually commanding predator fish. How? Jay, at what your pet is doing. You and I thought he kept a normal fish. Nope. Total military strategist. Forget marriage. Trust me, defeat them. First,